In 1991, in our nation's capital, the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial was dedicated to honor and remember America's law enforcement officers who have fallen in the line of duty. Now there is another important tribute underway to honor all the brave men and women who serve and protect us each day. Welcome to the National Law Enforcement Museum. Located steps away from the memorial, this new museum, chartered by Congress, is being expertly crafted by the award-winning designers of the memorial, Davis Buckley Architects and Planners, and internationally renowned exhibit designers Christopher Chadbourne Associates. Visitors to the memorial have asked to hear the rest of the story. How are officers trained? How do they solve the millions of crimes that occur each year? How has law enforcement changed throughout history? How accurate is what we see on TV and in the movies? Step into the museum. You will begin a journey behind the badge to answer those questions. You will challenge your knowledge and perceptions of law enforcement. You will experience firsthand the dangerous and ever-changing responsibilities of the officers serving you and your nation. Enter the museum's introductory theater, where you will be immersed in a story that captures different perspectives of citizens and law enforcement officers, placing you at the center of this complicated relationship. Find out what it's like to walk in an officer's shoes. At the Academy, you will learn the essential things for every officer to know, from techniques for handcuffing a violent suspect to the intricacies of the law. Then, put that knowledge to use. Can you make the right split-second decision in a tactical training simulation? When you are ready to hit the streets, walk the beat as an officer. See if you have what it takes to be one of America's finest. Enter the dark and dangerous world of the detective. Process a crime scene. Analyze evidence. Interview witnesses. Probe motives. Question alibis. And finally, make an arrest. Explore the world of the corrections officer, who walks the corridors of our jails and prisons, sometimes armed, but always outnumbered, in what many call the toughest beat of all. The history of law enforcement reflects the history of our nation. Follow the major changes in policing as you travel the turbulent 19th century city streets and the harsh landscape of the Wild West. Join federal, state, and local officers as they work together to track down the public enemies of the 1920s and 30s. Hear the stories of officers and citizens who stood on opposite sides of the barricades during the protests of the 1960s and 70s. And learn how officers today stand up against terrorism, drug trafficking, and other emerging threats to the global community. Have your real-life experiences matched what you see on TV or in the movies? Explore how pop culture and the media contribute to our perceptions of law enforcement in reel to reel. When faced with an emergency, we call for help by dialing 911. But how does that emergency call system really work? Find out as you become the dispatcher in the museum's Dial 911 call center. In the Hall of Remembrance, you will learn the stories of law enforcement's fallen heroes. Hear from the survivors and colleagues who knew them best, and prepare to be inspired by those who made the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe. In the heart of Washington, we honor the story of the men and women of law enforcement, the training, the challenges, the history. the technology, the personal stories, the sacrifices for our country, our community, and our families. The National Law Enforcement Museum.